everyone, it's Michelle and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. So you guys, thank you so much for your feedback on my last video, but I want to clarify a couple of things. Now when I edited back my video, I cut out a lot of the stuff that I talked about in regards to Gwyneth Paltrow and her trial. So I want to say I am team Gwyneth. I was not trying to be mean or nasty to Gwyneth Paltrow. Quite a few of you thought I was really being unfair to her. Now I totally was not being unfair to her. When I talked about her at the trial, it was about her attitude, it was about her vibe. She really did kind of give like an upper class, 1% rich person vibe. And I was comparing that vibe to Harry and Meghan, how they see the world through their bubble of privilege. Now, in my opinion, Gwyneth Paltrow was 100% innocent and 100% correct to defend herself and her name, because this doctor had accused her of hurting him and pretty much hitting and running from the scene of a crime, and she did not do that. Now, in my opinion, he was looking for a money grab. Many celebrities are victims to people who purposely prey upon celebrities, trying to hit them with lawsuits. They want to settle out of court and get a quick money grab. And I believe this doctor thought he could go to Gwyneth Paltrow, get a check, and go travel the world for his retirement. However, she fought back. It took 6 years to go to court, I believe, because of COVID. And she fought back and she filed a claim of $1 as a counterclaim, and she won. And it wasn't about money, it was about proving a point, proving her innocence. And I say kudos to Gwyneth Paltrow. She earned my respect, because if she was guilty, she would have just wrote him a check. But instead, she stood her ground with her lips pursed, sucking a lemon. But boy, did she show up and prove to people, you're not going to say false things, you're not going to take me down, and I'm going to sue you for $1. Now, Harry and Meghan, in their opinion, they think they're fighting against the evil arch nemesis of the British tabloids and the press. However, a lot of times the things they actually report are true, like the letter that Meghan Markle wrote to her daddy. She purposely wrote that letter with the intention of it going public. And the only reason why she won the lawsuit in that privacy case against the Associated Newspapers was due to the actual number of the words that were printed. It was a certain amount of words, 200 words less, something like that. They literally would not have won the case, because Thomas Markle was the owner of that letter and he gave it to the press. But she won in some weird legal loophole, and so they get very cocky and they jump on board on all of these lawsuits. Again, Harry and Meghan are the ambulance chasers of the royal family. So when I was comparing Gwyneth to Harry, they're definitely different situations, different people. I am team Gwyneth. But it was just kind of the attitude and the vibe that just reminded me of Harry and Meghan and the, delusions of grandeur, and I'm here with the little people. And yes, losing a half day of skiing, although it's very expensive, that is a very elitist thing to lose. I thought it was funny. She's a vibe, but it's no way me sending hate to Gwyneth Paltrow on any level. So I kind of wanted to clarify that. But you guys, we have a lot of juicy royalty to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. Is Joe Biden snubbing the coronation of King Charles? Now, there's a rumor going around, there's a story that President Biden's mother and his family hated the monarchy, and because of his Irish mother hating the Queen and the royal family, he is going to snub King Charles's coronation. Now, apparently his mother really did hate the royal family, so much so that he wrote about it in one of his books. However, His father was English, so his Irish mother, who hated the English, particularly the monarchy, married an Englishman. And it is rumored that she told her son, Joe Biden, not to curtsy when he met the Queen. Now, a lot of people say it's because of his mother's deep-rooted hatred of the royal family as to why he would not attend King Charles's coronation. There are rumors that he might send his wife, Jill Biden, or another delegation in his place. But a lot of people feel this is a big snub to the UK as they are one of the biggest allies of the UK. I think it would be wonderful to see our president or somebody there representing the United States. People are saying that, you know, every world leader is going to be there, every head of state, every royal family member from across Europe. So the fact he's not going there, it's a huge diplomatic insult. Biden has spoken very openly about his Irish family's disdain for England and the British monarchy. He even claimed that his mother refused to sleep in a bed that the Queen had once slept in. Now, again, I find it a little ironic that his Irish mother had a huge hatred for them, but yet she married an Englishman. Now, a lot of people are saying it's because his mother also wrote apparently several poems about her hatred of the English, but yet she married an Englishman. So again, I think it's a little weird, it's a little strange, but I personally do not believe that Biden is not going to the coronation because of his mother's hatred. He was very respectful to the late Queen Elizabeth II. At her funeral, he described her as a great lady and an incredibly decent and gracious woman. Now, the real story behind him not going to the coronation is one, no U.S. president has ever attended the coronation of a new monarch. So it's not like he's making history for being the very first one not to go. There has never been a U.S. president at a coronation. So him not going is not him snubbing the monarchy. The last four coronations with King Edward VIII in 1902, George V in 1911, George VI in 1937, and Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953, no U.S. president attended. He's not making history, he's simply following protocol that no U.S. president really has a place at a coronation. Of course, it would be lovely to have a U.S. representative, but again, the last four presidents did not go either to the last four coronations. So a lot of people are seeing this as a slight. I don't believe it is a slight. They did attend the Queen's funeral in September, so if he hated the monarchy so much because of his Irish mother, he would not have attended Queen Elizabeth's funeral. To me, that was a greater show of respect to the monarchy. He attended her funeral. So not attending the coronation, I don't see it as a snub. I think it more protocol, but I do believe his wife could possibly be in attendance. So I guess we'll have to wait and see, but let me know your thoughts if you believe he's actually snubbing the coronation. So it looks like Meghan Markle, you guys, is receiving yet another award. That's right, in less than 24 hours, it has been announced that Meghan Markle is receiving the Gracie Awards for her podcast Archetypes, but now she's receiving a second award. This is from the Miss Foundation's Women of Vision Award for her global advocacy work, and it's being presented to her by her bestie, Gloria Steinem, better known as Glow. You guys, her love tank has got to be full because, as I've mentioned, awards are Meghan's love language, so her cup runneth over with attention and admiration. 2 awards in the month of May. Now, the Miss Foundation Women of Vision Award is presented from the Miss Foundation is run by America's oldest women foundation. Now, Meghan is one of several women to receive the award this year, including Black Voters Matter co-founder LaTosha Brown, women's activist Olivia Juliana, and LGBTQ advocate Rebecca Brucehoff. The awards will be handed out at the Miss Foundation's annual gala on May 16th at New York City's Ziegfeld Ballroom. It is part of the 50th anniversary celebration where funds raised will go toward the organization's Equity Center initiatives. A report earlier this year showed that Harry and Meghan, through their Archwell Foundation, raised $13 million, but they only donated $3 million. You know, the couple who work 1 hour a week are just changing the world 1 hour a week at a time. What in the world are you going to do 1 hour a week? I have no idea, but apparently they believe Harry and Meghan are making a global impact. I mean, jumping on bandwagons and putting your name at the tail end of a charity, in my opinion, doesn't make you a trailblazer for women advocacy. But I guess apparently the bar set really low for these awards, and it truly is who you know, in my opinion, because without her buddy and bestie glow, she wouldn't be up for this award. All the other awards, in my opinion, are through her donations and networking with the NAACP and all of the other awards that she gets. Again, awards are her love language. It doesn't matter if she paid for it or got it through her friends. As long as she gets it, guys, that's all that matters. So are Prince Harry and Meghan Markle no longer the shiny golden couple in America that they once were? In my opinion, they have definitely fallen down the ranks of popularity and have gone from the shiny new apple to the rotten fruit laying on the ground. Now in America, we are the land of the free, the American dream. So when Harry and Meghan first announced that they were leaving the royal family to step away for privacy and a chance to earn financial freedom, that seemed like a very respectable thing to do, and America welcomed them with open arms. So you know, when Harry and Meghan were aboard the Freedom Flight, they really did have delusions of grandeur that they were going to be the toast of Tinseltown. And by all accounts, they definitely had the making of being the it couple, the golden couple of not just America, but of Hollywood. They were going to have every single producer and director coming a calling at their Montecito front door. Unfortunately, unbeknownst to the entire world, a worldwide pandemic broke out, so it was kind of the worst timing. And to top it off, Harry and Meghan hit the ground running with those Zoom word salad speeches. Remember those? Remember back in good old 2020? Remember the good old days where we only had to worry about Harry and Meghan and their word salad speeches, giving us unwanted advice and lectures from their mansion, where Harry looked like he was filming from a dirty, dungy basement, and we were asking him to blink twice if you need help, Harry. Remember the good old days where it was just a bunch of gobbledygook word salad? Then they started getting into a little bit of politics and we were getting annoyed with them. I mean, this was pre-Oprah. They were already getting to be quite annoying, right? We started to hear a lot of Meghan's opinions. And quite frankly, we were like, okay, we're done. Then they got on Oprah. And in my opinion, that was the beginning of the end for this couple, when we really started to see the delusion in their minds, their warped sense of reality that we discussed in my video yesterday, how they really are on another planet, a planet of privilege, how he cried how his daddy cut him off financially, and thank God I had the millions left from my mom. I would have been like you normal folk. I would have had to get a job. We don't want that, do we? So here we are 3 years later, where the chips have now fallen, and all we see now are the real Harry and Meghan. There's no more PR firms hiding the real Harry and Meghan. They've been exposed to us. The mystique and the mystery of the royals of Harry and Meghan have definitely fallen away, And now we see the royal Todger himself and his B-list actress, and their ambition and their greed and their hypocrisy, and them willing to sell out their family for money. Not a good look. Not a good look. And their hypocrisy on how they teach and lecture, but do the opposite. You know, Harry and Meghan, who have a separate set of rules, do as I say, not as I do, with their hypocrisy and their lectures and their word salad about, eco-warriorism and the environment as they board their 50th private jet of the year. And they have the nerve to look at us and say, oh my God, what are you doing for the planet? The problem is we know who Harry and Meghan are now. They're lying hypocrites who sell out their family to the highest bidder for money. That is literally who they are. So that financial freedom was only partially true. They wanted to get fame and success. You know, Meghan, the very frustrated and struggling ex-B-movie actress, she still wants to have her name in lights. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. You know, Meghan just loves to hear her name, loves to hear herself talk, loves her adulation, loves her awards. She loves the accolades. She loves being famous and, of course, being very rich and at a title. I mean, chef's kiss. Talk about a narcissist wet dream. There you go. But now the problem is the deals just aren't really coming in. The only deals they ever got were to talk about their families. Spotify, Spare, Archetypes. People realize they're a one-trick pony and they don't have any real talent. All they do is trash their family for money. Because the only thing really interesting about Harry and Meghan is their ties to the royal family. Now we have issues about Harry talking about rubbing cream on his Todger and thinking about his mom and how he's obsessed with thinking his wife is his mother and how she sings to seals and he takes magic mushrooms and talks to singing toilets. That did not help their reputation at all. As a matter of fact, it has made them a complete laughingstock. So they're no longer the shiny golden couple. They're a laughing stock. Their hypocrisy, it stinks. People can smell them from a mile away. They're not authentic. And Meghan Markle is pulling out all of her B-movie actress PR stunts. Okay, Harry, we're getting evicted from Frogmore, so why don't we call Batgrid and we're going to drive 3 hours out of the way to go to this really she restaurant, and we're going to be photographed looking like we're so in love, walking in the front entrance like, oh, is that a camera? Oh my God, I didn't know you were going to be here. Make sure you get my good side. Smile for the cameras, Harry. Money shot. All their fake PR of her walking out of that restaurant, where she's literally merged head to toe in a very expensive outfit. Again, she's literally taking a page out of the B-actress playbook on how to be notified and papped in magazines, how to sell puff pieces to People magazine, talking about how Meghan Markle is just so bankable and everything she wears just sells out. Again, giving the kids the titles. Oh yeah, they're going to love it. We're going to give the kids the titles. And now we have a prince and a princess as a daughter and son. Aren't we special? They're literally grasping at straws to stay interesting and relevant. But every time they do, it has to do with the royal family. Like giving their children titles. Going to the coronation. If they don't go to the coronation, they are going to be dead in the water because the royals are their bread and butter. That is the only thing that makes them halfway interesting. If they were completely cut off from the royal family and didn't attend the coronation, in my opinion, they're going to be gone in 2 years or less. That's it, guys, because there's nothing else to say. They couldn't get Pearl off the ground because she's not creative and she's not talented. Her podcast Archetypes was literally her talking about herself with a guest who happened to be in the room, and she would get a little swipe and a dig at the royal family whenever she could. His book Spare was about him crying about being the spare. And by the way, Harry, you're no longer the spare. Charlotte and Louis are the actual spares. You're kind of embarrassing because you're an ex-spare. Look at your Uncle Andy, sweetheart, because that is your future. It's called obscurity. It's called non-relevance. So look at Uncle Andy and take a page from his playbook, sweetheart, because that's your future. Obscurity. You're not even the spare. That's kind of embarrassing. You're like the spare twice removed, and you wrote a book about being spare. Talk about holding on to your glory days. I mean, it's literally, what, 10 years that George has been around? Like, honey, you haven't been spare for a decade. Pretty sad. You know, they said when he wrote the book Spare, he was going to write about the man he has become. Well, I didn't hear anything about the new man he has become. All he talked about was his literal childhood and how awful his life was. I mean, I guess that's 2.0. He's going to write about Meghan. She's just like my mom, and Meghan saved me because, you know, Meghan's a saint, right? I guess that's going to be the next chapter. Lord help us. But anyway, so in my opinion, Harry and Meghan are a deep doo-doo. Okay, we have the visa problem. Him talking about drugs has pissed off a lot of people. How did he get to America on a visa when he's a known drug user? He happily and laughingly admitted it. But again, being part of the privileged 1%ers, they have a different set of rules than the rest of us. And let me tell you, sweetheart, you're not earning any fans by having that extra privilege, because the rest of us are over here struggling and we have to follow the rules. And here you are throwing it in our face and then wanting us to like you. The hilarious thing is the more Harry and Meghan speak, the less people like them, at least with the current royal family, with King Charles, Camilla, William and Catherine, Edward and Sophie. We don't hear a lot about them and their personal life. So that is why we like them. They kind of have a little bit of a mystique, because when they come out, they do works of service. It is not about themselves. And that is why they're kind of held up in a little bit higher regard, because they're royal. They're supposed to be a little bit away from us. You know what I mean? But Harry and Meghan, they've unfortunately put their foot in their mouth and they've exposed themselves, but not the great part. So now it's kind of hard to change a lot of people's opinions, because we already know who they are now. They're a desperate B-list actress and a royal todger trying to stay relevant and complaining and grasping to their royal roots. It's embarrassing. What was the point of leaving the royal family? Because you clearly are still trying to be a part of it. You just wanted to throw your toys out of your pram and get your way, and the royal family said no. They called your bluff and they said, don't let the door hit ya or the good Lord split ya. And you've been throwing a fit for 3 years. So in my opinion, even though Meghan is going to have her love tank full with her 2 awards, she might go to the coronation and Archie's birthday. Besides all of that, I believe the rest of 2023 is not going to be a good year for them. As I made in my royal predictions, it's just going to go down from here. Well, guys, that is all the royal news that I have for you today. Let me know your thoughts on the stories that I shared with you. And I will be working on Corinna and the King episode 4. I promise I will have it out to you this weekend. You guys, it's going to get crazy. So make sure you go and watch the first 3 episodes, guys. It's definitely binge-worthy material. But as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for stopping by my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.